like to call to order agenda, Belton City Council work session, regular meeting. Work session right now, items for review and discussion. Do you want to say the one you have first? Do you want me to say?
Yes, tonight, Dave Clemens has an update on 107 King Street. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Do we happen to have the before and after pictures, or will we have those by the end of the evening?
I failed to bring those pictures with me.
That's okay. Just wanted to provide an update to the council. There's been a lot of chatter on social media lately about 107 King Street. We went in last week and actually cleaned that up. We do have some follow-up pictures of before and after. It's phenomenal, and as we continue to pursue code enforcement. And I wanted to let the council know that as a result of the attention to code enforcement, there's a reporter from Channel 5 that actually did a story and came to the site on King Street. And it's talking about the levels of what Belton is doing to clean up with code enforcement. And that story will air tonight on Channel 5 at 10 p.m. So just didn't want you to be surprised by it, and we'll have those pictures for you before the end of the evening.
Yeah, Councilwoman and I were over there when they did that. That was pretty special, wasn't it? The way that tow trucks came in and they had the big dumpster, and it was lickety split. It was
Yep.
pretty exciting to
And
see.
our code enforcement team did a great job with our building official and our planning and building director, and then we also had a great contractor that helped us through that process. So one address at a time.
Any questions or comments on that? Sir?
Is there police presence when you do those?
Yes, there is.
Good question. How many policemen were there,
The
Chief?
ordinance actually requires that the police be present when there's an administrative search warrant. We task our folks to work with codes in order to get that done, and we actually made an arrest in the course of doing that we came across someone that had a warrant that was there, and we arrested him and took him in also, so.
Thank you.
But again, it was one of those, I wish I could hear Bad Boys music in the background, because it was like, really? It was pretty wow. So things are happening, so we feel pretty good about it. Anything else for review or discussion?
No, Mr. Mayor, not at this time.
Well, with that being, I'd like to adjourn the work session and call the regular meeting to order at this time, led by Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Trutzel.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Davis,
Here.
Councilman Savage,
Here.
Councilman Lathrop,
Here.
Councilman Trutzel,
Here.
Councilman Van Winkle, Councilman McPherson,
Here.
Councilman Finn,
Here.
Councilwoman Davidson. Here. Councilwoman Peak.
Here.
Thank you. Consent agenda. One motion, non-debatable, to approve the recommendations noted. Any member of the council may ask for an item to be taken from consent agenda for discussion, separate action.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Personal appearances, we have none. Ordinances. Motion approving both readings of bill number 2019-19.
An ordinance declaring the results of the annual election of municipal officers of the city of Belton, Missouri.
Present.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Move for a second reading.
Second.
Motion and a second for a second reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. A motion approving the second reading of bill number 2019-19.
An ordinance declaring the results of the annual election of municipal officers of the city of Belton, Missouri.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor? Sorry, roll call.
Mayor Davis,
Aye.
Councilman Savage,
Aye.
Councilman Finn,
Aye.
Councilman Trutzel.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peak. Aye. Councilman McPherson.
Aye.
Councilman Lathrop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Davidson.
Aye.
That motion passes. B, a motion approving both readings of Bill number 2019-20.
An ordinance declaring the results of the election for road improvements held in the city of Belton, Missouri on April 2nd, 2019.
Present.
Was that a tie? Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Move for second reading. Second.
Motion and a second for a second reading. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. B, a motion approving the second reading of Bill number 2019-20.
An ordinance declaring the results of the election for road improvements held in the city of Belton, Missouri on April 2nd, 2019.
Present.
Second.
Motion and a second. I waited a long time for that second.
You did.
I think it was
So
going
we
to
got a
happen.
motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none.
Councilwoman Davidson.
Aye.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
Councilman Lathrop.
Aye.
Councilman Trutzel.
Aye.
Councilman Savage.
Aye.
Councilman McPherson.
Aye.
Councilman Finn.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peak.
Aye.
That motion passes. C, a motion approving both readings of Bill number 2019-21.
An ordinance declaring the results of the election for stormwater improvements held in the city of Belton, Missouri on April 2nd, 2019.
Present.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Move for second reading.
Second.
Motion and a second for second reading. Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. C, a motion approving the second reading of Bill number 2019-21.
An ordinance declaring the results of the election for stormwater improvements held in the city of Belton, Missouri on April 2nd, 2019.
Present.
Second. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none.
Councilman Finn.
Aye.
Mayor Davis.
Aye.
Councilman Lathrop.
Aye.
Councilman McPherson.
Aye.
Councilman Savage.
Aye.
Councilwoman Davidson.
Aye.
Councilman Trutzel.
Aye.
Councilwoman Peak.
Aye.
That motion passes. At this time, we're going to present a plaque. I'm going to go out there. Who do we want out there with us? Oh, Tom that comes out. Don't trip over these.
Yes,
Oh,
sir, that's right.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, going back there.
Don't worry about it.
Looks like one of the kids' bedrooms with all the cords and electronics. These were put here in 1980.
Oh, there it is. Well, Tom, it's been a great run. We appreciate. How many committees have you been on to?
2 or 3.
Oh, I was thinking it was more like 7. But on behalf of the council and staff, we appreciate what you've done. So we've got this little replica that we want you to cherish, and we expect you to be back in here for a lot of things. And I've already hit you up to run on a committee again, and you do a great job. So this reads, an appreciation to Tom McPherson for outstanding and dedicated service as councilman for the city of Belton, Missouri from November 2018 to April 19. Thank you for your loyalty, commitment to the city and to the citizens of Belton. Mayor Jeff Davis and City Council. So thank you very much. With that, we're going to take a 10-minute break for incoming council members, families, friends, and Tom. So again, let's all go out. 10 minutes is all we're going to do. We're going to get
Set
going.
your timer.
Thank you. Let's go out.
Can I play the Bad Boys music now?
newly elected. Yeah, you still have to go out there.
He's not new.
Well, old, new,
Yeah. Something borrowed,
everybody
something
has
blue.
to be re-sworn.
Uh-huh.
You just got elected again. Councilwoman Peak, did you run?
Not very far.
Now let's play nice, guys. Here we go.
Thank you.
Are those specifically written?
Yes, they are.
Right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Missouri, and all the laws of this state affecting constitutional charter cities, and the charter and ordinances of the city of Belton, and that you will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge your duties as a city councilman during your continuance therein, and faithfully demean yourself in the office to which you have been elected, so help you God? I do. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You want to do a selfie together? What do you want to do? Get this thing started?
I'm going to show him how to use that.
You good? You're not good.
Does everybody know where they sit? Okay. We've changed now since we had cookie break. You all have different chairs. It's kind of like I'm
Musical
kidding.
chairs?
Those are probably different chairs than when you were here the last time. That's probably,
Upgraded.
they used to be.
I'm used to sitting on that side, not this side, so.
All right, let's get started. And thank you again and congratulations. Let's go ahead and have a roll call.
Mayor Davis,
Here.
Councilman Savage,
Here.
Councilman Lathrop,
Here.
Councilman Trutzel,
Here.
Councilman Van Winkle, Councilman Clark,
Here.
Councilman Finn,
Here.
Councilman Davidson,
Here.
and Councilwoman Peak.
Here.
All right, thank you. So I'm down to consent agenda. One motion, non-debatable, to approve the recommendations noted. Any member of the council may ask for an item to be taken from the consent agenda for discussion and separate action.
Present.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion?
I do.
Sir?
There's a couple things in here on the on-call water, stormwater. Got two of them that bid on the thing, and both of them are been approved. Is that what we're saying?
What we're saying on these is that they're for on-call as needed. So yes, they did bid on it, and we're stating that we would utilize them, that when we needed services done, we would contact one of them. We definitely have preferred vendors that we would contact because one of them's a little further out. But should they be unable to answer that call, we would be able to utilize their services on emergency services.
Well,
The others, we naturally bid.
what was bothering me, though, was one of them is $141 an hour higher than the other. So I hope we don't use that one if we don't have to.
Right, and we definitely look at those items, but if at the end of the day, if you've contacted the others and they're not available and you've got to have somebody,
Yeah, it just,
and these are strictly for emergency services.
yeah, when they're talking $245 an hour for field work, that's a little bit dear.
So you were going to say something?
Yes, I just want to mention that we already have Precision and Pyramid. They've renewed, so these are two additional ones. And of course, we would contact the closer ones, less expensive first. But as the city manager had mentioned, this is if we can't find anybody and we got to get out somewhere, get someone out there, then we would end up contacting one of these as the last resort.
Sir?
Since these are new vendors, I know I read in there that you had done some checking on them, but I just want you to say, for the record, that everybody's happy with these new vendors and doing their job and being available when we need to have them, those kind of things. When you already have a new vendor, I always like to have a little bit of background, which you did supply, make sure their quality work and that kind of thing is in place.
And they submitted their qualifications, so we reviewed all that and their references and past record of performance. Of course, the final evaluation will be once they do work and we can tell what they do. But, based on what they submitted, they look like they're qualified to do the work.
Thank you.
Councilman Lathrop.
Well, I had one thing that I thought was good, and that's getting 2 Jeeps for $40,000. They won't sell one for me for that.
Jeeps, interesting.
And then I had one other item on
Yes.
that. On C, a copy machine for $18,000. Is that
Yeah, that's correct.
go in price?
Yeah, and that's a,
Good one's 30.
Can we print money with that legally? Or-
Not the last part.
We need
Better ask the attorney.
No, we cannot.
No, I just thought, a copy machine, I'm thinking of these $400 and $500 ones, and
oh, no.
I looked at the price on that, and it come out $18,000.
This is a high-volume color copier.
Chief, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, as an educator, you should know that yes, you can, but you may not.
Good point.
Always a technicality.
Oh, no, it's like, don't go and do not collect $200 either, and go right to jail.
Mayor,
Sir,
Councilwoman
ma'am.
Davidson. I'm sorry.
Councilwoman.
Councilperson, I think they changed that, didn't they?
Fine, I
This
don't care.
election.
Whatever you
Wow.
want, whatever you want to call me is fine. Regarding the Microsoft Office licenses, are we buying those directly from Microsoft? Yes. Okay. So the G3, the government $240, that price is set by Microsoft, I assume? Okay.
I have Office 365 and it automatically updates anytime there's an update, so it's a pretty good program.
Oh, I had to push that thing.
And then I also had a question regarding the Jeeps. Why Jeeps versus any other?
Well, we were looking at vehicles that would hold multiple individuals. For the Economic Development Department, we need to be able to, when we have potential businesses or companies come to town, developers, we need to be able to provide a tour of the city. And when we were looking at them, they were the most economical.
Honda Civics are nice.
Jeeps are funner.
It'll be good that I don't drive in a lot of those places anymore. Because you gotta have a Jeep to go into some of those places that you take these people. It's pretty dramatic. Any other questions or comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. No personal appearances, ordinances. A motion approving both readings, bill number 2019-22.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Belton, Missouri to enact provisions relating to self-preemption and enforcement of the city code.
Present.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes.
Move for second reading?
Second.
Motion and a second for a second reading. Any questions? Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. A motion approving the second reading of bill number 2019-22.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Belton, Missouri to enact provisions relating to self-preemption and enforcement of the city code.
Present.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
This is
It'll be a roll
Roll
call.
call.
This will be
You
roll
got me.
call on the second reading. Go ahead.
Councilman Finn,
Aye.
Mayor Davis,
Aye.
Councilman Lathrop,
Aye.
Councilwoman Peak,
Aye.
Councilman Savage,
Aye.
Councilwoman Davidson,
Aye.
Councilman Tretzel,
Aye.
Councilman Clark.
Aye.
That motion passes. Now, you got to know that you're going to need a long wind on this long one, so.
I practice.
Okay. B, a motion approving both readings of bill number 2019-23.
An ordinance determining and declaring the necessity of acquiring for public use temporary construction easements, permanent utility easements, permanent drainage easements, and right-of-way acquisition for the construction and maintenance of the Bel-Ray Connector Trail project located in the city of Belton, Cass County, Missouri, authorizing the city and its designees to negotiate for the purpose of acquiring the easements and property acquisition by contract or condemnation, and authorizing the city attorney and his or her designees to institute condemnation proceedings if such interests in land that cannot be acquired by purchase through good faith negotiations.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion. How about, we've been working with Park on this for a while, City Manager?
Yes, we have. This item actually for the Bel-Ray Connector Trail project goes back to 2 prior park directors ago, where they brought the grant to the city council for approval. Councilman Trutzel actually asked at that meeting where the funding would be coming from. They stated partially from the grant funding, and the matching portion would come from the park department. So those are conversations that we've had ongoing. The Public Works Department and our engineers are actually providing overview and project management of that project. And the engineering has already started. This item's been before you previously. And this will allow us to continue to go in and talk to accompanying land bases and landowners in order to get right-of-way.
How long before we see the baby?
We're hoping to begin construction this fall. Just depends on how long it'll take to get the easements. We're talking to property owners next week.
Can you describe where the trail goes?
So there's a map
Right.
that should be in your packet.
I thought you'd
that
just be able to say
starts
it.
on the south corner of the High Blue property, goes down Mullen Road, down the South Outer Road by the Springdale Lake and cottages, and then it cuts back through behind the hospital and behind the bowling services, and all the way and connects across Bel-Ray Boulevard down 170th Street to Kentucky Road.
And Raymore, where are they at now? Are they already connected to that point?
No,
And do we know when they're going to connect?
no.
Okay,
But
just
they're
curious.
they've asked us about the project. They're well aware. I'm just not sure when they're,
Do you have any idea how many miles that'll be connected to the trail then? Do we have any?
I don't know that, but I
that's
can find that
that's
out.
interesting
Yeah.
because I know that millennials, that's a big deal.
Yes.
And some of us, well, some of you older people that like to go on the trails, it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be going through some great neighborhoods, so it'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
I guess I got a question,
Sure.
Mayor. I guess unfortunately, I've already had phone calls and people calling me about, I had one person talk to me about the connector route, and then I had another person talk to me about that subdivision behind the hospital. I guess my question to you guys or us is, if we can put a trail back there, can we not put a road back there that has access for that subdivision to come out? It looks like we're going behind Aaron's. I don't know how much how much property is back there, but I just know somebody in that, I don't even know what that subdivision's called behind the hospital. I mean,
That one, Meadow Creek?
Meadow Creek. But there's only one way in, one way out. Of course, they're upset because I guess they're adding on to that subdivision right now, which is a good thing, adding in Belton, but there's only one way in, one way out. So they just asked if there's another way to do a road or something. So if we're doing easement rights, I don't know if that's something we can look at or if he has not looked at it.
We have been looking at it, and Celia, you want to chime in?
Well, I just wanted to say that it sure would be nice to have 2 ways in and out, but on the portion that's going behind the bowling services along 170th, that's actually in, next to their detention basin. So I don't know that a road would fit in there, but you would have to buy a large portion of other people's properties to get it through there. I don't know if you would be able to do that.
I guess my next question, going back behind commercial property, do we have enough money set aside to, if they don't give it to us? I mean, we got to buy it, so I just didn't know how much money we have set aside to buy property.
Yeah, there is a minimal amount set aside for property, and so this will be an ongoing topic of conversation for the council.
Have you been on a track for a while?
Excuse me?
On a trail? Have you walked or jogged one?
I try to stay away from exercise.
Okay, I was just wondering because you used to be in really great shape when you played ball.
Golf game's all right.
Okay. It's interesting to look at that anyway, because I know that we've all talked about that, but it is intriguing behind the hospital and, of course, the golf. And there is a connector there, but along with it, when we looked at it, I'm going, what's the little drive that goes by the backside of Quick Trip, and that's kind of it's going to put more traffic out on 58 highway, so it's like, and also we've even looked at places along the hospital line, but there's a creek there. So we've looked at and exhausted several different ways to get that second exit and entry into Meadow Creek. So,
Mr. Mayor, just so you know, for emergency services, there is a second entrance going to be in Meadow Creek on the north side of that new addition, coming out into Springdale Lake.
but you're going to have a gate there.
Yeah, it's going to be gated, but just for emergency services.
So they do have, as of law, by law and by ordinance, they've got to be able to get in 2 different ways. So they have the ability to get in.
But currently we don't.
Currently, we do not. The code is over 30 lots. That's that too.
Good clarification. I didn't know that. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion passes.
Move for second reading.
Second.
You got a motion and a second? Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. B, a motion approving second reading of Bill number 2019-23.
An ordinance determining and declaring the necessity of acquiring for public use temporary construction easements, permanent utility easements, permanent drainage easements, and right-of-way acquisition for the construction and maintenance of the Bell Ray Connector Trail project located in the city of Belton, Cass County, Missouri, authorizing the city and its designees to negotiate for the purpose of acquiring the easements and property acquisition by contract or condemnation, and authorizing the city attorney and his or her designees to institute condemnation proceedings if such interests in land that cannot be acquired by purchase through good faith negotiations.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion. Seeing none.
Councilman Trutzel,
Aye.
Councilman Lathrop,
Aye.
Mayor Davis,
Aye.
Councilwoman Peak,
Aye.
Councilman Clark,
Aye.
Councilwoman Davidson,
Aye.
Councilman Savage,
Aye.
Councilman Finn.
Aye.
Motion passes. We have no resolutions.
Nope.
City Council liaison reports. Councilwoman Davidson, Park.
There's a lot. Bingo returns next Tuesday, tonight, April 9th at 2 p.m. at High Blue. You'll enjoy bingo refreshments and fellowship with new friends. Everyone is welcome. If you're not available, no worries. There will be more opportunities. You can join Rosemary from Carnegie Village the second Tuesday of each month at High Blue. There are just a few days left to buy tickets in advance and save your dollars for April Slam. That's the extreme wrestling event that comes to High Blue this Saturday, April 13th. Pre-show starts at 5 p.m. with matches starting at 6 p.m. Tickets are available online or at High Blue. And then this weekend also, get your Easter baskets and running shoes ready. It's just over 2 weeks, well, not 2 weeks now, it's just this Saturday. For our annual Easter egg hunt, this year's event will be held Saturday, April 13th in Memorial Park. It's free and open to area youth up to 10 years of age. The event kicks off at 10 a.m. with free activities inside Memorial Station, including a special appearance by the Easter Bunny. The hunt will begin promptly at 11 on the ball fields, but don't worry because I will be there to get all the chocolate already. Let's see. Belton's annual stream cleanup and kickoff for the Adopt a Stream program has been rescheduled for this Saturday, April 13th at 8:30 a.m. Is that still on so far?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone interested in participating is invited to gather at the east entrance of Cornerstone Development. That's 16500 Cornerstone Drive. Coffee and donuts will be provided when you arrive, and hot dogs and hamburgers will be grilled at the end. Just be sure to wear appropriate clothing and shoes and bring your own reusable water bottle. Safety training, gloves, and trash bags will be provided. And then dress up as your favorite superhero and help us save the world from evil. It's for kids 5 to 12 years old. You'll enjoy pizza, swimming, superhero activities, a movie, and more. The cost is $20 for the first family member and $15 for each additional. If registered by Friday, April 19th, the price goes up $5 per person for registration on Saturday. Then the sun is out. Finally, the temperature is warming up. It's time to bring food trucks back to Wallace Park. So join us for lunch from a truck all summer long on the last Thursday of each month, starting Thursday, April 25th with Jiggy Pig Barbecue. Food will be served from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in front of High Blue. Hope to see you around. Then 2 more. Come join us for the best summer camp around, Belton Summer Camp. We are now taking applications for summer camp counselors. Applications available online or at High Blue. And then it's April, and that means another great promotion at High Blue. Join us anytime this month and get $10 off the enrollment fee.
One of them stuck with me. I understood that Chief Larkey was going to go as a superhero to wrestle in that. About who are you wrestling? Are you going as a masked superhero or? What weight are you going to, is this a heavyweight thing or is this going to, I remember when you wrestled for us in high school, you were a 180-pound wrestler at one time.
One time.
Well, he had to pull a lot of weight back then. It was a bad deal. But I'd like to see that wrestling. I think that'd be fun. Is that professional wrestlers?
Yeah. Well, not like, I don't know wrestling stuff, not like WW whatever.
That'd probably be great. I remember Chief Person years ago, they asked me to wrestle, when I was first at Belton, they wanted me to wrestle Bob Brown at an event at the high school. Bulldog Bob Brown. I'm going, you're crazy. Break me in half. Yeah, but that'd be good for the crowd. Okay. Well, thank you very much. Public Works, we have anything from them? Am I missing any reports from any liaison reports? Okay. City Council. Mayor Communications. Okay. First thing, golf course. This morning's or yesterday's Business Journal I saw was a reading that our golf course was ranked 19th in the Kansas City area top 25 golf courses. And so we want to make sure and give credit to Jay Kennedy and staff for getting it going out there. And I was watching people golf this weekend because I was watching a softball tournament out at the park, and that park was just booming. Park board said that the concession stand alone at the softball tournament made $5,000. So they're doing a really good job. It was really exciting. And they said that other tournaments, they'll make between $7,000 and $8,000. And if you remember, a few years ago, they did an economic impact on our community, and it's pretty astronomical on how much money people spend in your neighborhoods, at your shopping places for when they come here. And even though we live here, we still spend a lot of money going from the park to somewhere else to shop or to eat or whatever. So that's a good deal. Also, their graduation was, and I got to go, and Chief Person was there. How many years have we done this now?
We began in '89, so this is year 30 with this class. We had right around 350 students that graduated, their friends and family being there. The gym was absolutely full, and this makes somewhere in the neighborhood of 10,000 kids that have been through our DARE program.
It was pretty special, big crowd, and it was fun, and the kids were excited, good group of kids. And Officer Myers at the back of the room did a great job coordinating that with the rest of the staff, and it was special. That was a good thing for our kids to have that. We really appreciate the effort there. Also, let me see if I've got one more. Okay. I think that's enough. Let's move on to appointing a nomination here. I want a motion to entertain Councilwoman Peak again as Mayor Pro Tem. Could I hear a nomination for her from somebody?
So nominated.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, do I need to do a roll call or a voice vote?
Just a voice vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. B, a motion approving Stephanie Davidson as the Park Board Liaison. I'd entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Discussion, anything? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Motion appointing Ched Trutzel as Planning Commission liaison. A motion? So
Second.
moved. Second? We get it? Okay, motion is second. Did you get a second?
Was it Councilman Lathrop? Okay.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. City manager report.
Yes, I wanted to remind the council that Friday, April 19th is a holiday. City offices will be closed. Therefore, we're pulling together the agenda for you a little sooner for the April 23rd meeting. Work session to begin at 6 p.m. and the regular meeting immediately following. We also have some additional updates this evening from Dave Clements.
Thank you. Just thought I'd mention two quick things. The Planning and Building Department received construction drawings for Building 1 from North Point for the Southview Commerce Center. So we'll begin reviewing that building for permit and get them underway for that project. And on the April 23rd agenda, the City Council might recall the Abbott Hotel project on Mullen Road in the vicinity of up behind the Home Depot. Final plat for that Abbott Hotel will be on the City Council agenda of April 23rd in anticipation of getting that document recorded so they can begin construction.
Any questions for Dave? Okay.
And then we also have an update from Celia.
So we've received a lot of questions about the 58 highway project. If you have any, just, contact Public Works and, we'll get an answer. One of the questions, and I think that you all may have been copied on this, but everyone's been asking, well, why are they removing all these sidewalks? They're in good condition, but really it's a matter of ADA. MoDOT's not going to remove anything they don't have to, and it's in good condition, but if it doesn't meet the appropriate slope, then they remove it and replace it. The other question was about the ADA, the ramps with those, the panels, and you can either have the panels that you set into concrete or you can have the bolt-on panels. They're planning to do the bolt-ons, and they won't put those in until the end of the project. So in case anyone's asking you, that's what's going on with them.
My question, Celia, would be, didn't ADA have the same compliance when they put those sidewalks in the first time, or the last time?
I don't know when those sidewalks were put in.
Chief, you know that one?
Actually, that project went in, and right after they put the project in, they had to recut those curbs
Yeah.
to put ADA compliant ramps in. And so they retrofitted them in there, and they probably weren't exactly to detail.
Interesting. Councilman Trutzel.
We've mentioned this more than once, but I keep getting questions, why 58? And I keep saying, 58 is controlled by Missouri. They are doing the work on Missouri. We are not involved. But it's amazing how many times we've said this, that it's not the city of Belton doing this. It is the state of Missouri doing that whole project.
Celia, the traffic across the bridge, how many cars do we say a day?
They said 50 to 60,000.
50 to 60,000 cars a day. And right now, we're already seeing, Chief Person, cars, a lot of traffic with the sidewalks, and people are frustrated with the traffic. What's it going to be like when we start going from Kentucky all the way out to Holmes Road? Is that going to be in the summer, you think?
Well, they're moving pretty fast right now, and so, they could begin as soon as they get the concrete work done.
I'm just really anticipating a nightmare on 58 Highway with that kind of traffic.
Right, so they have to do night work in certain locations if they, if they're down to one lane. They have to have 2 lanes open at all time, or they have to do night work in certain locations. So, with progress becomes inconvenience, but once it's all done, it'll be great for the citizens, so.
Chief?
I may add that while they are doing night work, folks will hear noises at night, and all of them are not gunshots. A lot of them are tailgates slamming on dump trucks, so.
Councilman Trutzel.
lately, huh? I see that on Facebook.
Councilman Trutzel, you're up.
We might, even though it's kind of I understand your situation, I would commend the state of Missouri for starting earlier and then quitting early. Because if they did later in the day, it'd be, talk about a nightmare, it would be a nightmare, for sure. Worst nightmare, I guess you'd say.
Well, our noon traffic is pretty spectacular right now also. And I'm hoping that people will look for alternative routes to be taken, and I know we do. And it really helps. My problem is that everybody else is going to discover those routes, and then it's going to be the same thing. So it's going to be tough, and it's painful. And I'm going to tell everybody, remember all those problems we have on the road that everybody wanted fixed? Be careful what you wish for, because here it is, because those are some pretty big holes out there that they got to fix, a lot of stuff. Councilwoman Davidson.
And just for anyone that may not know, what is ADA?
American Disabilities Act, so that, you know, you have to have a certain slope of the sidewalk, you have to have the ramps with the, I don't know, I call them the,
Bumps.
yeah, the truncated domes, thank you. You know, there's a lot of different requirements that you need to have, and so when you rebuild or renovate, that's required.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible when they had to cut those curbs so that people that had handicaps, wheelchairs, you know, they had a curb. I mean,
At first, that project, some may remember, did not even include sidewalks. The blacktop on the edges of the road are considered part of the shoulder. The sidewalks were installed after that because people kept thinking that the asphalt shoulder was actually sidewalk, which it's not.
yeah, that was interesting, the reality. And I was just looking at that again the other day, that they did think it was the sidewalks. Pretty amazing. Go ahead.
That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Is that enough? We're good. How about any other business?
I have one thing.
Sir?
I had a couple of people talking to me about North Point's walking trail.
Mm-hmm.
And the trail is pretty much set, but now they said that they're trying to buy a lot over there in their neighborhood for a parking lot. And they're upset about having a parking lot in their neighborhood. I don't know anything about it. I didn't know what to tell them.
Who's up on that one?
Yeah, Councilman Lathrop, we're happy to check into that, but that's not anything that we've heard, and that's not any part of any of the plans that we have seen at all. I think that's
Well, I never heard anything about it either.
Will they let me pick the house?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard a word. Carolyn, have you heard anything?
And
Celia,
actually,
Dave?
it would be Dave that would have heard anything or seen it on any plans.
Yeah, there's nothing to check on. I don't know where it's just a rumor. I have had several conversations with residents on Allen Avenue who are concerned about people parking on Allen and walking up to the Southview Commerce Center, but that's just not going to happen.
Well,
It's not going to happen.
They knew there was parking
got
there.
plenty
I've
of off-street
heard
parking.
that complaint before, but you can park anywhere that's it's legal. But
Right.
when
just
they
need to
told
get
me
it
they was
built.
buying a empty lot for parking, I didn't know anything about that.
Well, I guess if you want to drive down even further, it's zoned residential, and you just can't put a parking lot in a residential neighborhood.
Councilman Trutzel.
Even though we already mentioned it, we ought to give a big thank you to the citizens of Belton for the road bond and the sewer bond, the stormwater bond. We needed both of them, long overdue, and the stormwater water one is, you know, if it doesn't affect me, it's not a big deal. But I'm glad people said that, you know, it affected somebody else and we need to take care of it. So real happy, I think the council's really happy we got both of those passed.
Well, exactly, and we want to thank the public, and it's a big thing for Belton, and our public has spoke. And it's a big responsibility that we have. And I think they're doing it systemically and honestly doing a great job of picking and choosing of how it's going to get done. And it's not somebody's favor or anybody's getting any kind of thing at all. It's important that people know that they need to vote. They need to exercise that right. And so we were very thankful that they came out and voted, the ones that did. So we appreciate that. Any other new business?
Mr. Mayor?
Sir.
Next week is National Telecommunicators Week. Our emergency dispatchers are recognized during next week. We'll make some recognitions out at the police station, but we won't have a meeting before that happens. So I just wanted to mention that. And then also, I'll give an update in another couple of weeks, but May the 4th is the Walk for Health. I talked to you all about that a while back, and I just wanted to mention that Mayor Turnbow already has a team that's committed $250 to that. And I know that you had challenged one of the council members to
Which one was it?
form a team, and I don't want
I think it was Ryan Finn,
I don't want to
wasn't it?
throw him under the bus.
I can run this year.
It was Councilwoman Davidson.
Well, I mean, she'll run. Or is it running or walking?
run.
It's either.
Either, it can be run or walk, so.
All right.
Let me just tell you, 2 years ago, I was first place in my age division at that one.
Well, there you go.
Whoa.
I'm not gonna tell you what that division was.
Well, I have a meeting Friday morning on that, and if anybody would like to commit to a team, I'd be more than happy to report.
There you go,
Friday,
yeah.
so.
Are you going to do it? You're going to sponsor a team anyway. I know you will.
May 4th is the 8th Annual Merle Clark
Oh,
Golf
it's the
Tournament.
same
at-
day?
Yep, so.
The good thing about this is you can actually sponsor a team online and never even show up to walk.
There you
Do
go.
your part.
Okay, well, I'll be
I
there.
can handle that one.
Well,
But I just wanted to mention that on the next
No,
meeting,
that's
I'll come
great.
back and talk a little bit more about it, so.
but you could, what time? They start early there.
It'll be like an 8 o'clock check-in, 9 o'clock
What time
walk,
are you
so.
golfing?
8 a.m. tee time.
Oh, boy, I was going to say, you could take the golf cart over right
It
from
makes
the
us get
hospital.
off early so we can get other people on a Saturday out on the course, so.
Understood. Are we missing anything else? Thank you. With that, I'd like to entertain a motion to enter executive session, to discuss matters pertaining to the leasing, purchase, or sale of real estate according to Missouri State Statute 610-0212, and matters pertaining to legal actions according to Missouri State Statute 610-0211, and that the record be closed and the meeting adjourned from there.
Present.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none.
Councilman Councilman Tressel.
Aye.
Councilman Lathrop.
Aye.
Councilwoman Davidson.
Aye.
Councilman Finn.
Aye.
Councilman Clark. Councilman Councilman Savage.
Aye.
Mayor Davis.
And aye. And we are adjourned. Thank you.